Happy birthday, Mumia. This is Ralph Poynter, husband of Lynn Stewart, head of the Political Prisoner Working Group for the Black is Back Coalition, and a member of Jericho. My introduction to you came about as I read your articles in support of MOVE. Your life is a message for all of us, and that message is, when fighting for justice, never give up. This is a message for all generations. If you will permit, the following is an excerpt from your book, The Classroom and the Cell. The schools, education, and its discontents. From the moment African people arrived on American shores, we have envisioned education as a pathway to freedom. Our struggles for literacy, access to schooling, and desegregation have all been animated by the belief that quality education would bring us closer to gainful employment, full citizenship, and humane treatment. In recent years, however, schools have not only failed to meet our collective needs, but have become sites of miseducation, repression, and preparation for the prison industrial complex. In this conversation, we examine the current education crisis and its connection to broader social, cultural, and economic issues. We also attempt to reimagine education and schooling in ways that lead to true learning, consciousness, and liberation. What is happening now is the commodification of education. There used to be an accepted wisdom that education is a social good in and of itself, that it helps society and individuals, not just because education allowed people to get jobs, but because it helped people perform better in a functioning democracy. I don't see that anymore. Now I see education as a store. Those who have credit or money can purchase education. Those who don't, well, this ain't for you. It reminds me of what George W. Bush used to say over and over again. This is an ownership society. It took me a while to understand that Bush was speaking globally. He was talking specifically about Social Security and housing ideas, but he really meant everything. This is an ownership society, which means that if you can't buy it, if you don't own it, then you have no say in it. I can't help but feel that all of what we see when we talk about the crisis in democracy is that education has betrayed its function as the institution that teaches democracy as well as science, literacy, and logic to Americans. Why? Because so much of it is directed at Black Americans, and that ain't what it was designed to do. Dig me? But now, we live in an era of aggressive resegregation of schools in the post-Brown era. Since the 1980s, none of the branches of government have demonstrated any commitment to school integration. Courts stopped ordering and in fact have begun to reverse and even deny desegregation plans. Little is being done to stop residential segregation. As a result, we're looking at schools that are just as segregated and underdeveloped as the ones we fought to integrate in the 1950s.